so we are now stage 5. We're going to be looking at the face so that we can add in a plate to be able to help stop our Sumobot from being exposed and try and get underneath the other Sumobot. What we'll have a look at briefly is we'll probably be able to get a decent sized wheel on this, which is cool, and we're going to get that face on here. So we've got the angle to be able to build it upon, and we've got some holes that we need to set up for this guy as well. Depending on the size of the wheel that we have, we'll have the angle that it needs to be sitting on, but we should be fairly close to that. So let's go back over to Part Studio and get started. So on here, we're going to be drawing half of this again so that we don't have to duplicate more work to make it simpler for ourselves. So we're going to create a sketch. I'm going to do it on this face so I can get both of those bits. So I'm going to choose there. I'm going to go and add in a corner rectangle so it attaches there. So we've got a cutout for that already. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the user project, and I'm just going to bring in that face. So now I've got the circle ready to go. What I can do with that is I'm going to make those construction so that they don't actually cut out, because I want a circle there. Alright, so now I've got that. I'm going to make a rectangle on that. It probably wants to be a little bit lower than that, to somewhere there. Now, if I remember, 75 is the widest it can be, so let's start there. Oh, sure, we'll do the top there as well. And then 75 on this side. So we've got that location. If I go to the side, we can see we can probably pull it down a little bit lower if we want. Let's go 80, and we can put a dimension from that point through to here, and let's make that 15 for the moment. We can always then adjust how far up or how far it goes. So instead of doing 80, let's remove that, and we can actually make it from that spot there. So how much over the top? We might go 15, just so it's sort of got a little bit of protection so that stuff doesn't fall out. So now we've got that, I'm going to add in my circle, and if I do those midpoints, it'll give me that, so it automatically locks in. So that now gives me the attachment points. The next thing I probably need to think about is the space for this guy. Now, it's going to cut through, so I have to have a cutout for that. So I'm going to go N, oh, let's try that. Well, where are we going? I want N on that face. Okay, so now I can do a cutout, and I'll need to make it coincident later, but there to there. So if I now use I can grab that line with that line, that line with that line, not that I really need this side, but, and that line with that line. So N, so that now gives me the cutout, and I probably need to make that one to that coincident with that one. So if I remove that, I should be able to, oh, not that coincident, that one. So I want to make him coincident I with that, and then he needs to come back and attach there. So that should give me enough of a cutout for that to sit in front. And if I want to, I can add some fillets to those as well, but that's probably less important at this point. So now I've got that set up and cut out. That's probably the key piece, except for the location of that. So I'm going to do that in context once I've got this side done. So I'm going to go tick on that, and this is going to be our sketch front. Okay, so now if I go extrude that guy, I want that to be a new. And why sometimes this decides that it doesn't like and wants to add that in there. That's good. I'm going to go new, 3 millimeters. So now we've got the cutout there ready to go. And I'm going to go tick. Let's add the fillets. So we've got one there. I'm going to do one there. And that looks like there shouldn't be any interference there, which is nice. So now I'm going to go leave it at 10. I'm happy with that. And then that is nicely rounded there. Obviously, let's add our mirror. So I want to bring him across with that side. And we've got our front face, and we're going to add that. Perfect. So now that's there. Let's go and add that's our front. And let's have a look at where we need the location of those bits. So back over to our assembly, insert that front face. Beautiful. And then we're going to go and mate that. We go M, bring that bit in line there. So there's plenty of ways that we can mate it. I find that the nicest way to work with it. So if we have a look at the side, I'm probably going to pull that down a little bit deeper, probably another 5 or 6 mils, so it's about in line with that. So that we don't have any gap underneath. The other thing that let's rotate that 5 degrees, so that's about in line. So this guy, if we have a look at where he wants to be, will probably want to be somewhere about there. So he's not going to touch the floor. If I bring him, so I'm just using the base of that page. So we'll be somewhere about there. So if I have a look distance from that to the top, about 50 mils. So let's go and add the circle, and he can be anywhere. So wants to probably be about there. From there to the edge is about 25. Let's go 25, just round it. So I'm going to go editing context. So I can just do it here. And then edit that sketch. So I need a C for circle. I'm going to bring him about there. 3 mil. Let's go 2.65 so we can screw into this. So 2.65 if we want to. And dimension wise, we said it was about 25 from the edge and about 50 from there. We want to bring that down. Let's go about 20. And we'll do that change at the same time. So now if we go to the side, go back to the assembly and use my bottom line. So that's going to be, depending on the size of the wheel, it might need to go down a little bit. We'll massage that later. But we can see the location that we've got for that hole. Height-wise, should be good. So let's mate that in place. So use that fasten mate. 1, 2, beautiful. And then the same deal on the other side. So we're going to go fasten mate, just pull him out of the way. 1 there, 1 there, tick. All right, so they are now in place. Front face is pretty close to what we want to do, depending on the size of the wheel that we make in the next video. So let's do that, and we might massage that once we've done these. So well done on that. Let's get our version. So now version 5. This is stage 5, our front.